Hello everybody. Today I'm going to teach you how to multiply polynomials. In this video we're going to cover how to multiply a polynomial by a constant number and how to multiply two polynomials together. Let's start off with a constant number times a polynomial. In our first example we can see 3 times the polynomial 4x squared minus 2x plus 7. The way that we can multiply a constant number into a polynomial is by multiplying every term in that polynomial by the constant number. So first we can do 3 times 4x squared. That is 12x squared. Next we can do 3 times negative 2x. That is negative 6x. And finally we can do 3 times 7. That is 21. We have successfully multiplied the polynomial by a constant value of 3. Let's see the second example. This here is multiplying a negative sign into 5x squared plus 9x minus 11. What we can notice here is that we can actually write a 1 right here. And this makes a lot more sense. Now we can understand that we're multiplying this polynomial by negative 1. All we have to do when we multiply a polynomial by negative 1 is to change the sign of every term in the brackets. So this would become negative 5x squared minus 9x plus 11. See here, we've just swapped the signs right here, just like that. And the first term, we can remember that there's a positive sign in front of it, because if there's no sign, we assume it's positive. And that's why it would become a negative here. And just like that, we have multiplied this polynomial by negative 1. Now let's see how we can multiply two polynomials together. Okay, let's see how we can multiply a polynomial by another polynomial. Our first step is to multiply this 2x by each term in the second bracket. So 2x times 7x is 14x squared. And then 2x times 4 is 8x. My apologies, 8x. And now we do the same thing with the next term in the first bracket. We have a negative 3, so our first step is to do negative 3 times 7x. That is negative 21x. And the same thing again. We have to do negative 3 times 4. That's negative 12. We can simplify the two middle terms because they both share a value x. So we can write this final answer as 14x squared. And now we have plus 8x minus 21x. That will be negative 13x minus 12. Okay, let's see one last example. We have the example 7x squared plus 2x minus 3 times negative 3x plus 4. Now, the only thing that changes with this example is that we have to multiply 3 terms in the first bracket by both terms in the second bracket. It will just take longer, but the steps are the same. Let's start with 7x squared. Our first step is to do 7x squared times negative 3x. That will give us negative 21x cubed. Now we have to do 7x squared times 4. That will give us 28x squared. Now we move on to the next term in the first bracket, which is a 2x. We have to do 2x times negative 3x. This will give us negative 6x squared. And the same again, we have to do 2x times 4. 2x times 4 will be plus 8x. And finally, we have to do the same thing with negative 3. So we have to do negative 3 times negative 3x. That will be plus 9x. And finally, negative 3 times 4. Negative 3 times 4 is minus 12. Now we have to simplify. We only have one term that has x cubed, so we have to write negative 21x cubed. Now we can collect like terms. We see here that we have two terms with x squared and two terms with x. So we can collect the x squared terms and the x terms. So we have 28x squared minus 6x squared. That will be plus 22x squared. Now we have 8x plus 9x. 8 plus 9 is 17, so we can write plus 17x. And now we can write this negative 12 on the end because there is no other terms that negative 12 could be added or subtracted to, which would leave us of a final answer of this right here. I hope this tutorial helped you to learn how to multiply polynomials. If it did, please consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up. Thanks, have a great day.